Shropshire Council is working with communities to explore a different way of designing and delivering services. We recognise that we can work better with our partners to shape services for each community and its own needs and challenges. This local commissioning approach is being piloted in Church Stretton. Partners have been working together to speak to as many people in Church Stretton as possible about what really matters. They've been busy gathering statistical data, financial information, talking to frontline staff and capturing people's real-life stories to find out what goes on in Church Stretton, how much time, effort and money is being spent and what's important to the people who live there. Leaders from across the community, including councillors and representatives from the police, fire service, health, voluntary and other local organisations, came together at a 3-day event in April to look at all the findings. At the start of the event, Councillor Keith Barrow and Clive Wright, Operations Director for Shropshire Council, outlined the opportunity leaders had before them to make a change.
We've got this window of opportunity. We've started, part of our plan is looking at how we do things differently, how we can work across sectors and across partners, with other partners differently. You'll find what we found out is absolutely fascinating. The opportunity is there for us all to save, not just save money, but to deliver a better service for the customer. And that's the key to it really. And if you can achieve those two things, both of which are positive, that's a real win, isn't it?
A real special opportunity for us as leaders to begin to make the difference that Keith described.
The leaders discussed what it's like for customers using services in the area. They combined efforts to see where improvements could be made to ensure that services don't cost more than they should, how further support can be focused where it's important, ensuring services are delivered by the best people to do the job and support local needs, jobs and economic growth.
Now's the exciting part about genuinely redesigning something differently together.
They've agreed on a number of prototypes for delivering services differently, focusing on living independently for longer at home, quality public spaces, facilities and buildings that people value and are proud of, as well as supporting people into work and in turn support an economically vibrant community.
Hello, I'm Chris Edwards. I'm the Area Commissioner for Shropshire Council for the south of Shropshire. I've been involved in the Church Stretton commissioning pilot right from the outset in February, supporting our commissioning director George Candler. The prototype that I'm involved in is really around pride of place, the public realm in Church Stretton. Church Stretton is a fantastic market town and the idea is we want to keep it that way, but basically do things better, faster, cheaper, together with our partner agencies to make Church Stretton an even better place for people to live and work in, and also to attract more visitors to Church Stretton. Basically the prototype involves then removing any duplication of agencies that work in Church Stretton, for example grass cutting. The Town Council cut grass in the park. We've also got the South Shropshire Housing Group also doing grounds maintenance in Church Stretton. We've actually made good progress recently over the last week or so, and we actually started doing things differently on the ground in the prototype in Church Stretton yesterday. What we're actually doing in Church Stretton, the prototype, this week we started the Town Council's grounds maintenance crew are actually starting to commence cutting the grass for the Housing Association, and likewise our street scene contractor Ringway are actually starting to collect litter and empty the litter bins etc. on Town Council property. So that's, as I say, started this week. It's early days, but we'll be keen to see the benefits of reducing that duplication. Next steps are we're going to focus on the enforcement side of Church Stretton in respect of community safety and that sort of thing. So looking at what enforcement is done in areas like street scene, like parking, the police with the community support officer, probably planning, etc. One of the real benefits that I've seen personally over the last few weeks is really all the agencies coming together to work as a team with a common objective, if you like, to make things better in Church Stretton. That started with the local governance board, representatives from the Housing Association, the police, Shropshire Furniture Scheme and the Town Council, Shropshire members, and there's been a real sense of purpose to try and make my prototype and the other two prototypes work as well, really. So that linked also with the community engagement work that we did. So there has been a big effort to ensure that all the people of Church Stretton, including the sort of harder to reach elements, are aware of what we're doing and the benefits that are likely to flow from the prototypes.
My name is Grace Towers. I'm leading one of the prototypes around living independently for longer, working with a team of wonderful people to help people in Church Stretton live independently for longer. So it's not just the council, it's very much a team, so working with a lot of voluntary sectors, organisations in Church Stretton. So that means having an ageing well conversation with residents over the age of 50 in Church Stretton in order to understand their need, what is their whole need, and then work together to meet that need as soon as possible. So that afternoon. It's very different. One is we all sit in, we all work together with the same person. So instead of doing 5 different visits around different services like social work, benefits, voluntary sector assessments, do it combined, so together. Then working with each other to decide on the best solution for that customer, with the customer. So removing a lot of duplication, and also it's faster because we're able to get things done as soon as they arrive. I've already seen some people in Church Stretton, and there's been many benefits from working together. Working with one of the voluntary organisations, we've been able to stop duplication of services already. One of which especially is a customer having to see one person instead of 5 different people on 5 different days. So that's much quicker, and also meeting their needs that afternoon or whatever it happens to be.
My name's Erica Garner. I'm the head of the Learning, Employment and Training Service for Shropshire Council. I've been involved in the local commissioning work in Church Stretton since April. I got involved to become the lead on the reducing unemployment prototype, and that's been working with a team that's meeting on a regular basis in Church Stretton. We're meeting with people who are currently unemployed from Church Stretton, and our partner agency is the Job Centre, who are supporting us in referring people who are, some are short-term unemployed, some are long-term unemployed, and it's about delivering a service that is different for the local community. It's going extremely well. We've met all of the people now, bar 3 people who are unemployed. It's about how do we do things differently at a local level to make sure that not only can we support those people who are unemployed now, but what can we put in place for the future for people who become unemployed further down the line. And what we're doing at the moment is working very individually with each person, so we know what their aspirations are in terms of work, but very importantly what the barriers are for them to find work locally, and also what their motivating factors are. Another thing that is really different is that each unemployed person will have a mentor. And we've got a number of mentors lined up, and we're about to match the mentor with the unemployed individual. Some people need a challenge, so it's about challenging how people might work in the future in terms of trying to get a job, making sure that there is motivation there, and generally having a greater feel for what there is in terms of the availability of work locally. What we need to be able to ensure in the future is that we can continue delivering mentor support to unemployed people. At the moment, those mentors are either ourselves or other people within the council, other key services, but in the future it will be around the community coming forward and supporting people locally. The thing that we've been able to do is offer some work experience opportunities locally. If you have no work experience or you have no experience of work, then that's a barrier for an employer to take you on. So if we're able to offer more work experience to people, that will be a positive in the future.
Well, I'm involved with the commissioning work in Church Stretton in two ways really. I chair the governance board, which is a board of the organisations that are principally involved in the governing process. So that's the police, the fire service, the school, the housing group, the housing association, voluntary sector in the shape of Mayfair and the furniture scheme, the town council, and ourselves at Shropshire Council. So I chair the governance board, and in addition to that I've been involved in the development of the community engagement, looking at the needs and aspirations of the people in Church Stretton, the residents, working with the town council, and helping develop the prototypes that we're now working through. The work is challenging, and it is very different from the way that I've been used to local authority work. The big difference is that there is no prescription, there is no end point. We didn't start this process by having a perceived end point. We've looked at the data that was available for Church Stretton. So we've looked at statistics. We've looked at information about benefits, about where people live. We've looked at information about people's ages and all that range of data that's available to us. We've looked at that, and we've then talked to huge numbers of people in the community and asked them what their real life sense of what it's like to live in Church Stretton, so that we can see whether that data actually matches with the experience of Church Stretton. And so that's been very interesting, and we've worked that through to the point where we've got a real sense of what people's aspirations are like and what benefits they get from living in Church Stretton. So it's been really quite personalised to the community and focused on the community in Church Stretton.
For the future, it looks good for Church Stretton. It's going to roll out into the rest of Shropshire. I really look forward to sort of helping, getting people back into jobs, seeing the services delivered better, and looking at ways of enhancing Church Stretton to make it more attractive for visitors and sustainability. And it's going to be a real challenge. I look forward to that.
The prototypes will be further refined and trialled up to the end of June, when partners will come together again to look at what has worked well and what differences have been made. For further information on local commissioning, go to www.shropshire.gov.uk/commissioning.